Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Welcome to the Clearview Ice Arena here in Moon Township, PA. I am your play-by-play tonight. I am the head coach of the Robert Morris University Esports program, CJ Buckeye. Beside me is Caden. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, everybody. I'm Caden McCrory. I'll be your color commentator for today. I'm a freshman here at Robert Morris, and I'm very excited for this game to get underway.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We've got about 2 minutes 45 to go, so we're going to keep this pretty short and sweet. It is family weekend, and it's an interesting game because it's not often that we see Alabama come up here, especially against the Colonials. So what are the Colonials looking at going into this game? How does Bama look?
Well, they are ranked number 22, which is a very good ranking and a very tough ACHA. So it's going to be a rough go here for Robert Morris. It's not going to be an easy win, but it never is no matter who you play. They had a rough loss 7-3 against Ohio yesterday, so they're definitely looking to bounce back, and this Alabama team is definitely something that might give them a little bit of problems.
That was the Colonials' second loss of the season. They go to 10-2 so far. They do have a little bit of a better record than Alabama coming into this game, but due to division strength, it's definitely going to get the scales tipped over towards Alabama in terms of strength of their squad because they do have a little tougher division than us up here. So I'm looking forward to the game. We have the Zebras coming out on the ice right now. There might be a pregame ceremony for the families because, like I mentioned, it is family night. So we will be back with you after the Tucci National Anthem that we all look forward to so much, and we will talk to you shortly. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back after that Tucci National Anthem. Another great game here at the Clearview Ice Arena. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a good matchup here between the number 22 ranked Alabama Tide. I know that they changed from the Crimson Tide to the Tide. I left it Crimson Tide on the scoreboard because I didn't really know. So we'll call them the Tide. But regardless, looking forward to a good game here tonight. I was watching them in the pregame, and it looked really good. The Tide looked like they were definitely up to it. The Colonials are going to have to claw back after a loss last night, and they're going to have to play again tomorrow. So they're in the middle of a triple header right now. One was away in Athens, Ohio, up against Ohio Northwestern, and now they're here for a two-game homestand against the Alabama Tide. So moving forward, the Tider's going to win the opening faceoff and fire it down in behind Mackey. So Mackey in net for the Colonials tonight. I don't believe started in Athens, but is in here tonight. Now I think we might see Rutherford tomorrow, or perhaps Pellegrino. I'm not sure. As a big hit from Roman Kramer on the boards, opposite the Under Armour wall. The Colonials trying to get out of their zone here. They're a little pinned, but here they come with Adamski. Adamski hits the brakes right as he passes the blue line. Fires it on net. It goes wide. The Colonials were in push here, and it looks like the Tide are going to be able to turn it and get it out towards the neutral zone and into the Colonial zone. It's being chopped at by Adamski, the captain. Adamski fires it back behind him, and there's a late hit behind the play, and nothing called by the ref. Unbelievable. They did call it. That was unbelievable. Did you see that late hit behind the play?
Oh, absolutely. That was a very late hit. I'm not sure if they're going to make the call here. It does not look like it, but definitely I think
Did they call icing?
They did call icing against the Colonials. It's coming down in front of Mackey here.
Oh, that was unbelievable. A hit on number 23, Jeremy Jenkins, on the defense. Behind the net, the puck was at center ice and just railed from behind by a Tide player. That was unbelievable. That if that's how this game's going to start, then I think we're in for quite an aggressive and chippy game for the rest of the game here. As the Tide regroup, and they're going to come forward as the Colonials did a change, and there's a turnover right on the line, but here comes number 8 for the Colonials, walking in, tries to get through a Tide defenseman. That was Keith Reed. Into the boards awkwardly was Schindler, but it looks like he's okay as he gets back up. Colonials playing the body early after that hit from behind on Jenkins. Harbison has it and fires it in behind the Tide net. The Tide pick it up, trying to get it out, but some serious pressure by the Colonials early on. Harbison playing up. Not that he isn't aggressive, but it's definitely new to see him pushing that far up, especially when the Tide looked like they had it. The Colonials pick it off in the Tide zone as they try to go for a cross through the crease there, but a good hit in the center by number 27. That's Schindler, and here comes number 8. That was Reed with a shot that goes wide. I haven't seen the D1 team in about a month and a half, so I'm going to have to relearn some of these names, but I do remember some of them. like Molteri, who's on the wall here in front of the Colonial bench, or I'm sorry, in front of the Tide bench. Tide pushing forward, dumping it in behind the Colonial net, and that's going to be taken by the Tide as they try to fire it towards the net, and it misses. The defense gets hit by Cameron Smith, and pushing forward, that is Molteri coming forward for the Colonials, and actually it's going to be picked off by Robert Byrne. Fired in, picked off by Lance Cotton. Cotton has it, looking for his D partner. That's Austin Albert. Back to Cotton. Cotton has it, trying to forward it up to Molteri that's playing on the wing, but the Tide are going to intercept that and picked off by Smith, and that gets it out. Waved off for offsides, and Albert's going to take it for the Colonials. High pressure here by the Tide early on. Both sides really trying to make the other play their game. And right now that's a high-intensity, high-pressure kind of game. The Colonials are totally fine playing that way. They're fine playing slow as well. But this appears to be the way that Alabama wants to play, and RMU's happy to meet them at the dance. The Tide fire it in behind Mackey. Albert's over there with Byrne. Byrne plays the body, and the Tide are going to pick it up. Looking for a pass, picked off, and that's Cameron Smith with it. Smith has it, off the boards, trying to get it to Molteri, but it's grabbed by the Tide. The Tide try to fire it across in between the hashes there, right in the high slot. That was dangerous. Oh, a good move by number 12 for the Tide as he moves forward, trying to get it towards the center, into the high danger zone of the slot there. But here come the Colonials on the push. It's Molteri. Molteri with a shot that goes wide. Byrne over to get it. The Tide misses on it, and here comes Adamski with it. Adamski, 1-on-5, gets hit, just trying to run through the gauntlet there, and the Tide played it perfectly, going for the body. Tide grab it, trying to get through, and that's going to be picked off by Roman Kramer. Kramer has it, and it looks like there's going to be a whistle.
The Tide playing with a lot of speed here. They're playing that chip and go game and getting the physicality on the body on the O-zone. You can definitely see Alabama's trying to outwork and outspeed. It looks like Alabama is getting a penalty here.
I think it was too many men.
I believe so.
I think they had too many men on the ice, yeah.
I saw him point towards the bench, so that would probably mean a too many men on the ice call.
I think that's a bench minor, 2 minutes for too many men on the ice. I think they had 6. Regardless, the Colonials are on the power play. Fired it up and around. Kramer's going to go back for the Colonials to pick it up. The PK for the Tide, number 6, is going to push forward. And here comes Kramer. Kramer's got Draper and Adamski, along with Schindler, as well as Jenkins. Draper has it, or I'm sorry, Kramer has it, just wheeling around in a circle, fires it towards the net, and it goes wide. Adamski on the UPMC wall, back to the Jenkins. Jenkins has it, over to Adamski. Adamski with a shot. It gets tipped, it goes up, and a good grab by the goaltender, Patrick Osterman, for the Tide.
Yeah, you see Draper parked right in front, trying to take away the eyesight. Definitely screens and shots on net from the point. You saw Adamski, and you also saw Jenkins taking some shots from up high. A guy in front with Draper, and then Kramer also circling low with Schindler, looking for that loose rebound.
You know, it's different. I'm used to seeing the power play where we actually don't have Schindler on. I'm used to seeing Draper out there with Kramer and Adamski. That's normal. But I think the last time that they played, they actually had Kovac out there on the power play, which was interesting. But they're going forward, and they're going to try it with Schindler as he moves forward now with the puck, dropping it back to Draper. Over to Jenkins. Jenkins can't get to it in time, and it actually leaves the zone. Jenkins over to Kramer. Kramer has it. He's looking. Back up to Jenkins. Jenkins is going to carry it. Into the Tide zone. He's looking. He has Adamski, but he actually goes all the way over to Schindler. Schindler back to Jenkins. Jenkins has it. He's looking. Gets it over to Kramer with a shot. A good save by Osterman. Kramer has it back on the UPMC wall. That pass was intercepted by number 14 for the Tide. Over to Kramer. Kramer fires it back to Schindler, who tries to make a move, gets tripped up, no call there. Here come the Tide. The Tide pushing forward on the PK, trying to fire it towards the net, and it goes wide. Keith Reed, the second power play unit on the ice, looking forward, gets Adamski with speed. Adamski in on net, shot gets saved by Osterman. Cleared up by the Tide, it goes all the way down as Harbison is in chase. 14 seconds remaining on the power play. Harbison has it. Looking for an outlet pass, and he finds one. And here comes Reed. Reed forward, power play has ended, and we're back at even strength. Reed has it. Across to Butson. Butson fires it behind the net to Smith. Smith trying to get it out front. He eventually does to Reed, and Back to Harbison, who keeps it on the point. Into 19, over to Reed, this high slot, and it's a save. Cameron Smith with another shot. And Harbison's not going to be able to get to it as it goes all the way back down where Mackey's going to play it, and the Tide are going to get their penalty killers off. A good shift by the Tide and by the Colonials. A good PK. Here come the Colonials. Butson with the puck. Back to Harbison. Harbison. Over to Haas, his defensive partner, and here comes Haas. Trying to chip it forward to Smith. Smith lays the body in front of the Tide bench, and the puck's going to go into the Tide zone. Not going to be able to maintain that, and here come the Tide now with a break. Harbison pushing back, and there's a sandwich in the middle, and that was with Albert and Harbison playing the body on the Tide player. And pushing forward, here he comes. Here comes Kovac, and he loses the puck. Tide trying to get it. Kovac's going to pick the puck and out in front. What a save by Osterman, and the Tide are going to clean that up. That was a great shot by number 12, Lapiana. What a great play, but here come the Tide trying to dance past Albert. Out in front into the high slot. A good play by Cotton to knock that wide. Out in front again. That's dangerous with the shot, and it goes wide. Fired out behind along the UPMC wall. The Tide defenseman gets it forward. Here comes a shot. No, it was a pass. It was a good pass, too. Albert gets a stick on it, and that's going to leave the zone. Lapiana pressured, and here come the Tide. A good sauce. One side or the other, a slap shot from the point, and it's blocked by John Betts. Palumbo knocks it back to Cotton. Cotton has it. Cotton's going to try and walk it in, but he gets stuffed there, and he's actually going to get a stick on it to prevent it from being dumped in, which is good. The Tide get a shot that rings off the post. That was number 11 for the Tide. Palumbo tries to get it behind to a player, but it actually gets tipped by the Tide, and that was a dangerous play, but here comes number 16 for the Colonials that was trying to throw it forward. That was Palumbo. Jenkins walks forward. He gets past two. Still maintaining the puck into the corner as he gets bodied by a Tide player and dropped. And here comes Kramer. Kramer has it, trying to get it out front. That was Lapiana, tossed aside. And here come the Tide. Neutral zone play picked off by Jenkins. Jenkins tries to get it through. He's going to play it off the hand, and Kramer's going to fire it in. Adamski's in there for it. Playing it on the wall. Here come the Tide. Now that they have possession of the puck, trying to get it out. Stepping forward, number 17 for the Colonials. Gets it towards the net. That was a jumper. Makes it behind the net. Kramer knocks it back to Adamski. That goes towards the net, and it's loose. Picked up by the Tide. Kramer played that puck in the air. Tide player tried to call for a high sticking, but that was not high sticking. It wasn't above the shoulder. Here come the Tide. Passing forward, that's picked off by Adamski, who hits it high off the glass. Almost out. That was dangerous. And here we come. Here comes Byrne. Byrne gets bodied by two players, and the Tide are going to take it. The Colonials have a four-man back, though, which is good. Byrne's going to try and turn around to take that, but he can't do it. So here come the Tide. Walking it in. Dumps it behind Mackey. Knocked around. Harbison has it. Harbison with a nice move to get around a Tide player. Gets around another player with speed. Gets around a third player, and he's coming in hot. Tries to knock it out front, and he can't. A good block by the Tide defenseman as the puck was underneath him. A great play by Harbison, getting past three Tide players to get in with a good shot and a good chance on net. But a good play by the Tide defenseman as there's a sandwich on Byrne. Onto the wall was Molteri. Byrne playing it against the wall with Cam Smith. Cam Smith trying to get it off the player, and it's going to get around. I think that's Haas. Yes, Peter Haas. Haas goes down, and the Tide are coming forward. Gets it through to number 7 with a shot that goes high and wide. Harbison didn't see him. Fired on net. What a save by Mackey. The Tide getting some really strange shots on net, and it's going to be dangerous for Mackey as he makes another good save as another high shot came in. Byrne has it. Gets it around. Harbison tries to come forward with the shot that goes up off the stick into the netting, and we finally have a whistle.
Man, that was 5 minutes of straight action back and forth, starting with that power play for the Colonials. Back and forth, A-plus opportunities on both sides. I want to touch on Harbison there as he took it from his own end through 4 guys, chipping it around and somehow making space. That's just a great playmaking ability of Braden Harbison and his ability to just move the puck. Absolutely incredible.
I mean, it was some silky smooth moves as well. I mean, he got past 2 players with skill, and then the other one with speed. That's loose in front of the net, and that's a dangerous play, but Mackey's going to take it. And the Colonials are going to take exception to the excessive whacking by the Tide.
Yeah, that was Austin Albert in front, the first great Tide player in front of his goaltender, Mackey. That defense is not afraid to throw the body. him, Lance Cotton, Braden Harbison. If you don't want to mess with those guys, if you get the chance to.
Harbison is our Chris Letang,
Oh, yeah.
for sure. And Cotton is for sure our Dumoulin. Knocked forward by the Colonials, and here they come with speed. That's Keith Reed moving forward with the puck. That's a hook there. No call by the ref. Colonial down, tied down, crowd upset. Schindler's looking back to Albert. Albert has it at the point and fires it towards the net. It was tipped by Reed, but tipped wide, unfortunately, as the Tide get it on the board. Cotton with a good keep. He fires it back in. That was a good play by Cotton. Tipped forward. Big body plays down in the Tide zone by the Tide defenseman. Definitely playing the body as there's a 3-on-1 forming here. Number 6 for the Tide gets it across. Can't get it. And another shot from the point that goes just high and wide past Mackey. Schindler has the puck looking for a pass. Gets it forward. Nice tip by Butson as he gets it through. Butson behind the Tide net. Betts coming in for some support. Betts gets it back to Jenkins. Jenkins with a shot, and he whiffs on it. But he's actually going to maintain possession, get it down as Betts comes in to help and finishes off by getting it on net for an easy save by Osterman. A deflected shot off the skate that hit off of Lapiana's skate actually hit the goaltender, and he was there in position. But the Colonials have it in the high slot, looking for some danger. Jenkins has it in the Mobile Tire corner, trying to get through, and he does, but there's just too many Tide. Knocked forward, Alabama with the puck. Up at center ice, moving forward, 4 men back for the Colonials. That was redirected out in front. Jenkins almost put that in his own net.
Yeah, that was really close. Luckily, Mackey there with the glove. It was a good play by Alabama as they tried to go across to his partner there, but Jenkins was right there to put that one down, and Mackey with a great save. Alabama really with a lot of chances here. Luckily, Mackey here with some great saves and some great deflections by the defenseman to prevent them.
Face-off won by the Tide. The Tide move forward, loses his footing. Jenkins is going to take it behind the net. Palumbo has it. Jenkins is there in support. Back behind for Draper. Draper in the corner, picked up by Kramer. Kramer has it. We know he has speed. Is he going to give it a go? He doesn't. He's actually intercepted by the Tide. Tide tried to fire it towards the middle, but Draper's there, and it misses anyway. Draper trying to knock it forward. He's just going to pin the man on the board and play the body as the puck's loose. Draper goes down almost on his head. That was dangerous, but he looks to be okay. Jenkins has it. Up to Draper. Draper knocks it forward. Over to Adamski. Here comes Adamski. Adamski and Kramer. Back to Kramer with a shot and a good save by Osterman. Kramer still has the puck towards the net. It's blocked. Draper's there. And out come the Tide. Adamski loses his stick. I do believe it's actually broken. He's got a broken stick. Kramer fires it off the far boards. That was a great chance by the Colonials. A good shot by Kramer and an even better save by Osterman. The Tide have it behind their own net. Evading a check from Molteri. Tide are going to regain possession in their zone, but Molteri's pushing. Picked off by number 24 for the Colonials. That's Byrne. Byrne has it now. Trying to get rid of it. Gets bodied. The puck is taken by the Tide. Back to the defenseman. Byrne pushing. Harbison. Back for the Colonials as well as Peter Haas. One of my favorite pairings for the Colonials. In behind the net. Haas takes it. Knocks it back towards Harbison. Here come the Tide, throwing it forward, picked off by Haas. Haas is going to fire it back out to the Colonials bench. The Tide moving forward, trying for another press. He's going to get through, tries to get it through. They've been trying to get these passes across the slot, and they're just not making it. From the point, the Tide defenseman has it with a shot that goes wide. They're having much more success from taking these point shots and taking their chances from farther out than inside the slot. I know it's a high danger zone as a Tide player fires it outside of the rink here, but they're definitely getting some better chances from the point, and I don't know why they aren't pushing that more.
Yeah, definitely. They're using a strategy I see RMU using a lot, and that's pressure in front of the net and take away the eyes of the goaltender. You can see these defensemen do have good shots, And if they get a lucky redirection, that's how you're going to get one past Mackey. So crowd the front of the net like they're doing now. Eventually one's going to go in.
The Tide win the faceoff, firing it in behind Mackey. Mackey's going to stop it for his defenseman. Cotton has it. Colonials trying to get out of their zone with Schindler. Schindler knocks it forward. He had Butson pushing forward as the Colonials try to take it into the corner. The Tide player on him. It's Schindler. Out in front to Reed. Reed over to Albert. Albert fires it towards the net and a glove save by Osterman.
Great shot there by Albert as we have some pushing and shoving in front of the net. It looks like Schindler for RMU and number 74 for Alabama.
Which I don't even see on the roster.
Yeah, neither do I. With some pushing and shoving there. No penalties called there as we get set for a face-off.
Face-off won by the Colonials. Cotton from the point. Shot goes through. Blocker save by Osterman. Reed into Schindler. Back to Reed. Reed at the point with the shot. And another glove save. 2 high shots in a row on Osterman. And he's there to stop both of them.
Yeah, RMU taking advantage of open space through the middle. Keith Reed had all day to walk in and take that shot. They must have saw something in film where they're going to keep shooting high on this goaltender, because that's where about 80% of their shots thus far have come from.
You know, it is strange how he's making the save.
Yeah.
Blocker behind the glove, that's just...
It is a weird technique for sure, but it is working for him.
I wonder if you got a good shot towards, as that shot actually goes right on through and almost gets through on Osterman. I'm wondering if you take a shot just over the shoulder, if he's going to have an awkward motion and it might go in as Albert takes a shot from the point. It's blocked out front. Out in front, Kramer with the shot. That goes just wide. The Tide have it. Picked up by Adamski out in front. At the point. Oh, Palumbo. Thought there was a player over there, but there wasn't. Cotton at the point with a shot that's tipped on net. Out in front, Palumbo. He shoots and scores.
Gio Palumbo buries that one home. 1-0 Robert Morris off a beautiful play from the top unit of Robert Morris.
Palumbo makes it 1-0 early on, making up for the mistake of a pass where he thought Kramer was actually across the crease from him, but he just dumped it over there and it ended up coming right back to him where he was able to bury it in the high slot where he thought Kramer was.
Overall, a great setup play there from Robert Morris's first line. They're up here 1-0 with 4 minutes to play.
Here come the Tide, pushing forward, tipped in by their center, and it goes up into the netting, and that's going to be another whistle. I mean, we could keep talking about that goal all night. What a play by the Colonials, just continuing to battle in front of the net, because the Tide are giving him the space. You might as well take it.
Yeah, definitely. You saw that misplay there from Palumbo. He tried to go for Kramer. You knew it was going to come. The pressure was on Alabama, and they just did not have an answer for that top unit.
Oh, buried into the wall. That was number 23. It was Jenkins yet again, who's on the receiving end of another questionable hit on the boards, as it looked like he was falling in and then finished off by a Tide player. Thankfully, he looks okay. You never want to see an injury, so he is walking a little, or skating a little off, so we're going to make sure we keep an eye on him. Hopefully he's okay. As he comes in, looking for the body himself, pressing. The Tide trying to maintain possession in their zone. Moving from the defenseman out over to the wing. Wing-to-wing pass. A nice play by number 40 for the Tide. Number 17 for the Colonials, bodying behind the net. Picked up by Reed. Here comes Reed. Keith Reed with speed coming up the wing. Moves forward. A nice dangle. Can't maintain control of the puck, but he somehow gets it at the very end as he fires it around. Haas from the point. Out in front. The Tide have it. Haas and Harbison back. Harbison into the corner. He's going to take the body on number 17. Number 17 is going to maintain possession, trying to get it out front, and he does. A shot from the point by number 12 that goes wide. Kramer trying to get it forward. I'm sorry, that's not Kramer, but he gets it all the way through to Schindler. That was Butson. Schindler behind the net, stopping on a dime, looking for a pass, trying to get it back to Haas, but it was blocked. Reed back to Haas now. Haas has it, fires it towards the net, and a glove save by Osterman.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed with this RMU offense is defensemen joining the rush or defensemen playing low. Guys like Harbison are playing lower than the blue line. They're going almost to the top of the circle to join the rush and make an open play. I think it's something I did not see a lot when the RMU Colonials played IUP. So something to look forward to throughout the rest of this game is the defensemen getting more involved in the offensive side of the game.
Harbison knocks it down with a high stick, but it's okay because the Tide touched it. Out in front, a good glove save by Mackey. Not even fooled is the shot by Eric Reininger from the Tide gets on net. And now they're chirping the goaltender as Mackey's like, yeah, try harder next time. That wasn't even good.
Yeah, Mackey doesn't even look phased with that shot. He's been on his game so far through this first period and has looked like typical Kevin Mackey.
I think with Mackey in net, it makes the Colonials feel a little bit more comfortable because you know he's going to put out a good show every time.
100%.
The Tide are going to try and change that as number 11 has it out in front, and he gets picked off by Palumbo. Here comes Kramer with the puck. Moving forward, drops it off. A shot by Albert that gets blocked. Kramer has it on the wall, fires it towards the net. Adamski trying to get to it, but he can't. So the Tide are going to take it instead. Chipping it all the way down, Cotton grabs it. Over to his D partner, Albert. Over to Kramer. Kramer has it, chipping it forward to Captain Adamski, and here comes Adamski. Trying to chip it forward. He's going to play it off his skate. Picked off by the Tide. And here comes number 11 for the Tide, who we've said his name 3 or 4 times already, or his number at least. On net, Mackey's going to make an easy save as that gets loose out in front, off the Falcone wall. Here come the Tide. Back behind the net, Mackey's going to stop it for Albert. Directing traffic was Mackey. That was interesting. Palumbo tries to get it through to Kramer, and it's picked off by number 88 for the Tide. And here come the Tide. Chipping it in as we tick off to 60 seconds left here in the first period. Draper looking for a pass out to Byrne. Draper's going to try and maintain it, but he can't. But the Tide has it out in front. That's loose. Still loose. A whiff on the shot. The Tide have it in the corner trying to get it out in front. And here comes Molteri as he tips it out. Byrne's going to chase. Byrne's going to beat his man all the way down as he goes head first into the boards, but he's okay. He gets up. There's a hand up. Interference.
Yeah, looks like number 96 for Alabama, Kalen Briere, the big defenseman, is getting called for an interference call. Little bit of a hand I saw go on the back of Byrne and push him into the wall. Something you cannot do, and that's going to be a 2-minute penalty. Also want to point out Jeremy Jenkins' play down here to prevent that goal. Great stick to break up the pass and prevent an opportunity. That would have been an A-plus opportunity with Mackey sliding from his right to left.
Colonials 0 for 1 on the power play this evening. They've got another chance here late in the first period to make this 2-0. Harbison. Harbison has it. Over to Butson. Butson looking for a shot. Throws it down out in front. It gets knocked wide. It actually hit off Smith's skate, and it's just sitting there. The Tide get it now, and they're looking to get rid of it. Goes all the way down to Mackey as there's 10 seconds remaining here in the first period. Harbison forward to Butson. Over to Reed. 1 second remaining with a shot. Not going to happen as it goes wide. The Colonials will go into the second period with a lead and a power play with 1 minute and 30 seconds left on it.
Overall, I think a really well-played period here by the Colonials. A lot of speed from both sides, and you definitely see the physicality from Alabama that started this right off the bat with a late hit, it almost looked like. And RMU with a big response in the physicality, mainly off that first line with guys like Kramer and Draper. Overall,
yeah, they're definitely playing the body early, and I think they're going to for the rest of the game because it's working. We have a close game here at the end of one. But I'll tell you what, the Tide have to play a more balanced game because what they're doing right now is their physicality, they're taking penalties.
Yeah.
The Colonials aren't. So the Colonials have had 2 power plays so far. They're in their second one right now. And they're playing the same style as the Tide. But the Tide playing down by 1, I guess are playing a little bit more desperate. So, we've got 1:30 left on that power play going into the second period. I think it's going to be a good second period. I thought we'd have a little bit more scoring in the first period, to be honest, but they look like they're just feeling each other out.
Oh, definitely. Just right now, a tightly packed contest between two teams. Both, they're not in the same division, so they don't play each other very often. You know, if you play in your typical IUP or Pitt, those are guys you play 2 times a year. You're used to playing them. You've seen these guys before. The coaching staff has seen them. So definitely film and playing are a little bit different when you get on the ice, especially with guys from Alabama who are 22nd ranked in the ACHA.
For sure. I will say there is a pretty packed house tonight, so there is a lot of individuals that are near us, and I'm sure there are some that are a touch inebriated. So if there is anything picked up on the microphone, I do apologize, but There's just nothing we can do about that. It's all about being in the atmosphere, being here with the crowd. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to cut to intermission. We'll be back with you in about 13 minutes and 20-ish seconds for the start of period 2 and the remainder of a Colonials power play. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back here for the start of the second period at the Clearview Ice Arena in Moon Township, Pennsylvania. We've got 20 seconds remaining here in the second period. It's nice to have the band, I will say that. We haven't had the band for any of the club games so far, and I do miss them.
Yeah, the band so far has been on point. Definitely getting the crowd hyped up. A really good turnout for this game. Like you said, it is family night. Band is definitely getting everyone in the spirit here as we get ready to go here for period number 2.
Yeah, there was a nice dinner before the game for some of the players' parents and for some of the friends' parents as well. It was a good time. I was up there talking with the director, Armin Bozelli, as well as the dean of students, John Michaelenko. It was a great time up there, talking with the guys and eating some food, seeing some of the parents of players who I've been casting games for, and a nice hello to everyone who's still watching at home, as the Colonials are going to take the face-off win for the start of the second period, as they're still on the power play. Adamski's going to take it into the tied zone as he fires it in behind the goaltender. At the point is Schindler, over to Jenkins. Jenkins has it, back to Schindler. He's got Kramer down low. Kramer has it. Behind the net is Adamski, and he's going to fire it back to Adamski as I say that. Adamski has it. He's got Draper out front, and I think they're going to look for that pass out in front. Across crease, over to Draper, and that almost goes in, and it gets knocked out by the Tide. The net is off the moorings, kicked aside by the goaltender. A good save by Osterman, and they might call delay. Are they going to call delay a game on that?
Looks like they're setting up here.
Pretty upset.
Maybe looking for a penalty there because Draper was right in front of him batting away at that puck. Maybe Draper with a little bit of a push there to get the net off its moorings. It looks like no penalty here as we set up for the faceoff.
There shouldn't have been one, so I'm glad that there wasn't. But the Colonials still have it on the power play here. Kramer has it, top of the circle, shot saved by Osterman. Yeah, I was really hoping that wasn't going to be a call because there was nothing there.
Yeah, I did
not.
He
kicked it away after it was off the moorings. There was nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it just definitely looked like a good battle in front, and he backed up a little bit, and the net came off. I agree, nothing really there. I think that was worth a penalty or worth a delay a game. Sometimes the net just comes off.
I've seen some more suspect calls, but that didn't look too bad. Face-off won by the Tide. Kramer's actually going to pick that off, and here comes Jenkins with a shot towards the net, almost deflected in by Draper, and the Tide are going to knock it all the way out, down to Mackey. Mackey's going to stop it. Kramer comes back along with Jenkins. Jenkins drops it off for Kramer, and here comes Kramer with speed. Up the wing, past the Colonial bench, into the Tide zone, out in front, beyond the defenseman, wraps it around. Looking for a pass out front. He's going to carry it himself into the high slot. Fires it down to Adamski out in front. Oh, Schindler had a chance, and it's off its moorings again. Yeah, the crowd not thrilled with that at all. And there might be, the crowd's definitely calling for a delay of game call there. But, you know, that one was a little bit more suspect than the one before.
Oh, definitely. That's the second time it's happened, and we still have 13 seconds on this power play, and we haven't even passed the minute-and-a-half mark. First time, you think, okay.
It might not, well, okay, let's benefit of the doubt. It might not be Osterman. It might not be the Tide. It's more than likely not. But they should still call it the ice crew to see if it's okay. If it happens again, I say you call it the ice crew to get it figured out. Oh, Adamski ties him up in the faceoff. Back to Jenkins. Jenkins at the point. Shot that goes wide. Kramer has it. Kramer down to Schindler. Schindler at the bottom of the circle. He's going to turn around trying to get it out to Jenkins. Draper, conscious of the man back on the ice, takes a step back as Jenkins walked in. Jenkins has it. Fires it down to Kramer. It's loose. Adamski's going to grab it between his legs. Tries to get it to Kramer, and he can't. Picked off by the Tide. Tide fire it down and around as Draper's going to chase it for the Colonials. That's going to go all the way down for an icing.
Great move there by Adamski between his legs to keep that play alive. He had two guys draped all over him. Puts it between his legs and has an opportunity to try to hit Kramer in front of the net. Great work there by that power play one. Unfortunately, they didn't get a goal, but two stoppages of play are definitely a reason behind that.
I do want to point out that Osterman was just trying to pack the circles. I'm assuming it's not on him as the Colonials get a shot off the faceoff draw. He did take a look at the ref and say, hey, this is loose. So we'll keep an eye on that, see if they call out the ice crew to get that fixed. But The Tide have it, trying to fire it into the Colonial zone, and they do. Here come the Colonials. It's Kovac. Kovac forward. Stick goes high on Byrne, but it's okay. Off the Colonials wall, picked off. Here comes Kovac. Kovac dumps it in for the Colonials behind Osterman. Tipped forward. Back behind the net again. Pushed forward. That was Betts. Betts, Byrne, and Kovac as the Tide push forward against Harbison and Haas. Out in front for the Tide. Good poke check by Haas. Over to Kovac. Kovac has it. Trying to knock it in behind the net, and he does. Gets it all the way down. Betts in the far side trying to get to that puck as the Tide try and clear it around. Intercepted out in front. That was Lapiana, I believe. Out in front trying to get it to number 18. That was John Betts. Here come the Tide. Firing it towards Mackey. That got stuck in the equipment of the Tide player and goes wide. Cameron Smith pokes it forward. Albert and Cotton. Back for the Colonials. The Tide out front in the high slot. And he water bottles it. And the Tide tie the game. What a shot.
That was absolutely beautiful by Brian Siebold, number 19, the defensive for the Crimson Tide. Walks in and absolutely explodes the water bottle of Kevin Mackey over the shoulder. That was absolutely beautiful.
A great shot by the Tide. Ties this game at 1 with 16:54 to go in the second as the Colonials try and get Mackey out a new water bottle. After that one gets popped, not much Mackey can do there. He had the glove up. He was in position, but the Tide player just had so much time in the slot that there was nothing he could do. It was just a bad turn of events for the Colonials. Good play for the Tide, and we're tied 1-1. Face-off win actually goes high and above. Schindler's going to try and knock it forward. He's going to glove it down again. Plays the puck over to Albert. Knocked forward by Butson. Reed's pushing hard, trying to get the puck back, and Reed has it. Looking for a pass, trying to get it to somebody, and he's going to carry it, dump it far side over to Albert. Albert can't grab it, and it's going to get fired deep. All the way out to the point. A nice jumping grab by Albert, and he throws it right back in behind Osterman. Schindler's going to push for the Colonials. It gets fired all the way around, and Albert's going to stop it again. Reed has it, trying to get it across to Butson, but it's going to get sticked down by a Tide, but Butson's going to continue to carry it, whereas he turns it over, gets another poke check back. Butson doing some amazing work here in the neutral zone, fighting for the puck. The Tide has it, dumps it forward. Albert kicks it back out again. Knocked forward by Schindler, but the Tide are going to take that. A good back-and-forth battle as number 11 for the Tide pushes forward. Tries to get around a defenseman for the Colonials. Into the wall, behind the net. Out to the point for the Tide. A shot that is blocked by Schindler, and Schindler is in some pain as he's trying to make his way back to the bench very slowly, but he gets back, and it's okay because the Colonials are going to clear the puck all the way down behind the Tide. Schindler in rough shape as he gets over to the bench, and here come the Tide. Very selfless play by Schindler. Maybe that spurs on the Colonials to get a goal here quickly. Shot that gets tipped wide by a Colonial. Draper comes in to push against the Tide player out in front. Kramer's going to get that right in his skates. Trying to shoot it all the way over. Almost hits the ref. Down into the Colonial zone. Slap pass forward as the Tide try to get a break, and that's going to be picked off by Jenkins. Jenkins turns it around. Trying to get it forward. Loses control of the puck. The Tide pressing hard here with 14:57 to go in the second. Good interception by the Tide at center ice as Kramer's in support trying to get the puck back. And Draper's going to take it and dump it forward. Almost gets to Damsky. Gets it off of him, and it's actually going to go out in front. Dangerous play. Gets over to Palumbo. Palumbo back to Kramer. Kramer with a shot that's blocked by the Tide defenseman. Draper back with Harbison. 4 forwards on for the Colonials right now. Harbison's going to take it. Throws it around Kramer. Trying to get it through, and he does. It's going to go out to the Tide player just beyond the blue line. Harbison loses the battle to the puck. The Tide still have it along the wall. Fires it behind the net. Harbison's going to press. Fired forward by Palumbo's picked off by the Tide. Draper can't catch it. Into the wall. The Tide pressing hard here again. 14 minutes to go, and they've had all the momentum here in the past minute or two since that goal. Shot goes on net, saved by Mackey. Tried to clear out, it can't. Back to the point. The point has it for the Tide. Reeling in on the Clearview Arena. Right on the logo there. It's cleared out by the Tide. It's going to go all the way down. and we're going to have an icing. So the Colonials aren't able to get a full. Oh, no, it was tipped. It was touched forward. No icing. The icing is waved off. The Colonials are able to get their change. And here come the Tide. Harbison in behind with Haas. A battle in the corner is won by the Colonials and then turned back over to the Tide. Harbison goes back into the same corner he was just battling in with some support from Betts trying to get the puck out for the Colonials. The Tide winning the puck battles here. Gets it behind Mackey. All the way out to the Chick-fil-A wall, picked up by the defenseman, fires it on net. It goes wide. Trying to get it to the slot was the Tide player, and here come the Colonials. Haas trying to get it out, and he does. Gets hit to the stanchion, but looks to be okay. The Colonials getting outworked here. They've passed 3 or 4 minutes of this period. They're going to have to turn things around if they want to push forward and get another goal. The Tide look to be right on the doorstep as they're getting the chances. Tide with some puck movement. Byrne tries to get through. Tried to be too fancy. The Tide, drop pass, fires it, hits off the mask of Mackey, and it's going to be grabbed by Haas. Haas chips it forward. That was Kovac who turns over the puck, loses it on the blue line, kept in by the Tide. Knocked out, a body by Byrne. Kovac trying to knock it forward. Here come the Tide. Behind the net, Harbison pushing number 11. Body down in the middle, Byrne. That was number 11 for the Tide. No call there. Looked to be a little early, but the referees disagreed. Here come the Tide. Pushing forward. 3-on-3. Onside. With speed. Moving in. Looking to get out front. And he scores. It takes a weird bounce off of a player and gets tipped in over the shoulder of Mackey.
Yeah, that was Kalen Briere, number 96, looking like Danny Briere out there. Flying through the middle, gets out to the left part of the circle, takes a shot. It looks like it hits something on the way and goes under the bar to make this a 2-1 Alabama game. Briere is the one that took that penalty at the end of the first period that transferred over to the second with that play against Bird on the boards. Now gets one on the board here to make it 2-1.
Up 2-1 in the second. The Tide pushing forward. They've had all the momentum. They've had all the pressure so far in the second. The Colonials need to fight back. As Joseph puts on the first line and hopes to spur some offense. Albert's going to pick that off and fire it back in deep. Kramer's going to touch up, and in come the Colonials. All the way out. Adamski tries to knock it down. It's going to go all the way forward to Mackey, who's going to cover it. And we're going to have another ice. Or we're going to have another freeze, I should say.
The momentum has shifted dramatically since the end of that power play here. Alabama has been in that zone for the past 7 minutes. The only time RMU has had control of the puck is when they need to get a line change because their guys are so tired. But great job by RMU besides the goal, getting in front of shots and taking away those chances.
Well, we do know, having watched this team as much as I have, they are a third period team. So let's see if they can use some of that power that they have in the third period here in the second. They are a later game team. They don't normally start out strong as they almost get one. It's loose, but it looks like it is covered and frozen by Osterman, who barely actually had the tip of his toe on that. That was a close one.
Great chance in front there by Gia Palombo. Again, he already has a goal in this game right in front. Just like you said, the pad of Osterman got the edge of that save, or else this one would be a tie game off a stick of Gio Palombo once again.
It's Reed, it's Schindler, and it's Butson. Back on the ice. Albert, the point, Cotton with a good glove save by Osterman. Snatches that out of the air with a flash of the glove.
Yeah, good to see Brian Schindler back on the ice after that really good block at the defensive zone about 5 minutes ago. Definitely looked like he was laboring on his leg, but good to see him back out here. He's only a freshman. He's already such a key part of this team.
I mean, when you're already on power play one with some of the best that this team has to offer, and you're a freshman, you're looking good going into your career. As here come the Tide going forward, a good move around Cotton, and that goes wide. Behind the net, here comes Schindler with the puck. Gets bodied. Behind the net to Cotton. Cotton has it. Cotton looking for an outlet pass. Up around Reed and outside the zone. Reed's going to press, gets bodied, but here comes Schindler. Schindler coming forward, tries to get the toe drag around the Crimson Tide defenseman. Here comes Butson. Butson steals it off the Tide player, pushing forward. Schindler out to Jenkins. Jenkins with a shot and a save by Osterman. Cotton keeps it in for the Colonials. Reed's actually, it's going to hit off Reed and bounce out. So now the Colonials are going to have to regroup as they fire it in down into the DoubleTree corner. The Tide have it behind the net as a full line change is occurring for the Colonials. And here come the Tide. Pushing forward, number 27 with speed, trying to get around Draper. He does. But no chances there as it gets fired back around the net. Draper bodied into the corner by number 88. Jenkins off the wall. It's Kovac. Kovac trying to hit a streaking burn but can't. A good reverse hit by number 11 on Kovac. Jenkins is going to knock it forward towards Kovac. Jenkins misses the puck on the Tide wall, knocked forward and back to the Crimson Tide defenseman. Alabama looking sharp here in this period, definitely in the first half, in control of this game so far, and the Colonials need to turn that around in their favor. Here come the Tide. In behind the net. It is weird seeing Draper play defense, I will say that. He's doing a good job, but the puck gets fired on net by the defenseman, saved easily by Mackey, and it's going to go all the way down behind the Alabama net. Osterman points to his defenseman and says, no, please, you take it. D-to-D pass as number 13 for the Tide moves forward. Gets it past Smith. Number 11 for the Tide. Wheels in with a shot and a good glove save by Mackey through traffic, flashing the leather to keep this 2-1.
Yeah, something I did notice there is Tyler Kovac did go off a little slowly there, as you saw when they tried to get that cross play to Kovac along the Colonial boards. Labored off and then did go behind the bench and is now walking around. Definitely a little bit of laboring on his leg there. We'll have to pay attention to that as this game continues.
Face-off won by the Tide with a good shot. And another one from the point that's blocked by Palumbo. And here comes Palumbo. Drops it off to Kramer. And here comes Kramer. Walks forward, tries to get to Palumbo, and it gets knocked wide. The sauce was too much. Adamski trying to keep it in. Gets tied up and thrown to the ground. No call by the ref. Now the hand goes up. That was a clear holding. To the box. Number 7 for the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, that's number 7, Chandler Beledu, the forward. Let's see what the official call is here. Looks like maybe a holding is the official call.
It's a hook. It's a hook.
Hook. We see it looks like power play unit number 1 is out here to start. Adamski with Schindler and Draper on his wings with Kramer and Jenkins on the point.
Face-off tied up and won by the Colonials. Jenkins at the point. Over to Kramer. Kramer down to Adamski. Adamski behind the net. He has Schindler to his right, but he gets it to Kramer. Out in front, it's loose, and that was kicked forward by Draper. No goal, and the net's off the moorings again. And the extracurricular in front of the net will ensue, as there was a poke by Draper, but it was doable. As it looks like Osterman's actually giving it to the crowd. The crowd's getting into his head.
Draper there, it looked like the puck might have been loose. The ref may have lost sight of it as you saw Draper continue to jab away at that towards the right pad. So we're not sure. We didn't have the greatest angle there, but maybe it was a loose puck and the ref lost sight of it, or maybe it was covered. Overall, good job by Alabama sticking up for their goaltender.
The net is still not actually... Okay, they are checking the net.
Yeah, this has been the 3rd time in this period alone that moorings have come off of the net.
That's number 4!
Now they're going to ice it up, make sure that it's going to sit kindly.
It's only coincidentally happened on all of the power plays that we've had as well in period number 2.
Didn't happen when Mackey was in net.
No, it didn't.
Adamski wins the faceoff. Draper knocks it back to Jenkins, over to Kramer. Kramer from the point, down to Adamski. Adamski, puck in the feet, picks it back up. Over to Kramer. Kramer has it. Wheeling in front with a shot that's blocked by the Tide defenseman. It's loose, picked up by Schindler. Schindler trying to hold it on the DoubleTree wall, back behind to Kramer. Kramer has it in the corner. Kramer looking forward, back to Jenkins. Jenkins with a shot that goes low, and he shoots and he scores.
I think Tyler Draper in front with the deflection. His celebration was right in the face of Osterman. I'm surprised Alabama didn't take an exception to that, where he pretty much said, I'm stronger than you, I am better than you, flexing his muscles in front of the goaltender. Overall, great shot there by Jenkins. Draper in front screen. I believe he did get a deflection. We'll wait for the official goal call.
Yeah, I took a second to announce the goal because I wanted to make sure that I was right on who scored. And I couldn't tell if it was Draper or if it was Jenkins. But regardless, we'll listen to the PA announcer as he's got it right from the ref. So the Colonials playing defense here. It was Jenkins. Loose out front, shot from the point, the Tide. A good block by Albert, and Albert is down. Albert is in bad shape as he's slowly getting up. He's in pain. The Tide trying to take advantage. It goes through, it's tipped, it's loose. Into the corner. The Tide have it out in front, back to the point. Albert in pain, can't get off. He has to finish out his shift. Slap pass, back to the Tide defenseman. The shot is blocked by Schindler. It comes out. Albert can't get out. Cotton waves him down and says, no, you can't, because the Tide still have the puck. Behind the net, Cotton has it. Cotton fires it down. Tries to get it out, and it's a save. Blocked by number 19, Butson. Albert's able to get off the ice here. And we're going to have to keep an eye on him to see if he's okay. Here come the Tide. Coming out as the Colonials do make a quick change as Harbison comes on. It goes in. Mackey can't control it, but it actually falls right in front of him, and he gets it that time with 6:18 to go here in the second period.
Austin Albert absolutely laying the body out to block that shot and still stayed on the ice. Looked like it's absolutely incredible how tough some of these players are, like Albert, who can block a shot with his skate, I believe, on that one, or his leg.
It was his back.
It was his back.
Yeah, I see him on the bench right now. Pellegrino's pointing it out to the assistant coach. He took it to the back. A good glove save by Mackey, but going back to Albert, you could see that Schindler looked at it and he made he made like the size of it with his hands, and it looked like the size of a basketball. Just that I'm sure it bruised up immediately, so I hope he's okay. A shot to the back is never good, as the Colonials dump it all the way out for an icing.
Absolutely crazy tough how tough these guys are that are willing to get in front of a shot that maybe 75 to 80 miles per hour coming at them just so it doesn't hit the goaltender. It's absolutely
Team
remarkable.
Doctor's coming over right now to take a look. I'm sure they're just going to whip out some of that ice, rub it on there. He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Hey, hockey tough.
Face-off win. Harbison has it. Dumps it behind. Colonials trying to kick it out, and they do. It's Haas. Haas has it, loses control of the puck, and the Tide are going to move forward. Haas comes back, pressing. Mackey's going to stop it. He's going to cover it up.
Going back to blocking shots, I'm going to go back to one of my favorite quotes from Ilya Bryzgalov. It says, who's crazier, me or the guy that lays in front of the puck without as much equipment as I do? Who's crazier, me or the defenseman? Well,
having seen most of Bryzgalov's interviews when I was an early Flyers fan, when I was watching him, I'd still say he's crazier.
He is definitely a very crazy man.
Guy's a nutcase. Regardless, Colonials dump it in behind the Tide net as they're going to push forward with it. Shot on net and a save by Osterman. Now all of a sudden we're going to have a ton of whistles. Not in the first period, but I was talking for 7 minutes straight and couldn't get a drink of water. But now we're going to have another whistle.
Hey, it's nice for you. You get a drink break in. Makes up for the one during the 7-minute play there in the first. This game's getting better and better as now the second period seems to take double the time of the first at this point.
Face-off won by the Tide. Tide have it beyond their own net. D-to-D pass. Number 12 actually loses control of the puck, but he's going to get to it before Byrne does, but Byrne's going to pressure him. Losing control of the puck, and the Colonials might have a chance here. Tide trying to tip it forward, and they do, and Byrne's still pressing. Some great back checking. Mackey's going to stop that with his paddle, and he's going to freeze it.
Yeah, good to see Tyler Kovac back on the ice as well after limping off his last shift. Injuries have been there so far throughout the first period and 3 quarters, but so far it looks like it hasn't cost him anyway with any major bumps and bruises.
Albert's back on the bench as well. It looks like he's ready for his next shift. He's standing and waiting. So keep an eye, see when he gets back on the ice as Adamski wins the faceoff for the Colonials. Kramer knocks it back to Adamski, and he's got Palumbo on the far side. Trying to fire it in. Right on net is Osterman's going to cover it up. The past minute has taken 5.
Yeah. Absolutely crazy bounce there, though, as it took an awkward bounce over towards the left end boards, right in front of the net with Palumbo crashing really hard. Osterman had no other choice but to come in front and cover that. Very smart play by the Alabama goalkeeper.
Lining up for the face-off. It's tied up yet again, and looks like the Colonials are going to come away with it. Out in front, out! Oh my goodness, what a shot by Palumbo. That was a good play by Kramer. I didn't even see Palumbo in front of the net. Adamski has it behind the net. Alabama trying to get it forward. D-to-D pass. So they're going to look for an outlet to the winger. And they get there. Tipped forward by number 40. Trying to center it back for a defenseman. It leaves the zone. Adamski tied up. Adamski trying to get the puck as the Tide are going to move forward with it into the Colonial zone. Shot goes up into the netting. And we're going to have another whistle.
Osterman with a great play there. Gio Palumbo, like you said, I didn't see him in front of the net either. Beautiful play to get it to him, but Osterman going right to left with a pad. Once again, robs Palumbo for the second time already in this game, who he does have a goal, too.
Well, to be fair, you have an excuse. You've got a giant yellow pole in your way.
Yeah.
I don't. so I should have saw him.
A lot of things in that corner are hard to see. I just look over at the monitor next to me.
It is quite difficult to see sometimes opposite the DoubleTree corner for sure. Colonials end up losing the faceoff, but get it out anyway. The Tide fire it back in as Cotton's going to go back looking for it. Albert on the ice. Keith Reed knocks it forward. Butson. Schindler has it, getting bodied, but Butson's actually going to get it in behind the net. The Tide knock it forward. Albert has it. Chips back in. It's Butson. Back to Schindler. Schindler tries to get it to Cotton, but just passed it behind him, and Schindler's upset with himself. Albert comes back off the wall. The Tide are going to get it and try to get it with some speed, but Schindler's going to pick them off. And here comes Schindler, coming in with speed of his own. Maintaining the puck beautifully. Dumps it in, down behind the net. Tide pick it up. Forward. Here come the Tide. Back to number 11. 11 has it, fires it, and it goes wide. Number 74 comes down from the point to the bottom of the circle. He's going to try to wheel it out front. It goes behind the net after being blocked by a stick. Number 74 gets wrapped up with the referee. And the Tide are going to try and maintain possession here. Playing it off the wall, and it leaves the zone. Good play by the Colonials defense. I think that was Keith Reed. Yes, it was. The Tide pushing forward, getting a small change in. Trying to get it passed down into the crease area, but it doesn't. A good turnaround shot out in front, loose. And that's going to be covered by Mackey.
Great job by Mackey there. Shot by number 7 from Alabama. Trying to go 5-hole. That was Chandler Beledo. He took a penalty earlier in this period. Mackey with a great 5-hole save. Squeezing the pads together there. Good to also see, like you said, Albert back on the ice after taking that great block shot off the back. Looks like it didn't even phase him on that play as he was hustling around the ice.
Face-off won by the Colonials. Tipped in. That was number 21, Peter Haas, pushing forward as a forward. Intercepted by Kramer. Kramer out in front, looking for a pass down low, and he gets Palumbo. Palumbo has it. Back to Haas. Haas with a shot from the point, saved by the pad of Osterman. The Tide leaving their zone. Knocked forward. Harbison kicks it down with his skate, but he almost loses possession. Good thing his defensive partner Haas was there, and Haas is actually going to clear the zone and then gets hit from behind. No call from the ref. Here come the Tide. 4-man up. Trying to get it through. Stopped by the skate of a Colonial defender. Harbison down to block the pass out to the point. Point to point with a shot that goes blocked by Kramer. Kramer tries to go forward. Actually hits the reverse hit, and here come the Colonials pushing forward. It's Palumbo. Palumbo through to Adamski. What a save by Osterman! And Kramer puts it away! Looking like Bobby Orr gets the 3rd goal of the night.
My goodness, what a play. Palumbo cross crease to Adamski. Adamski with an A+ opportunity. And then Kramer comes flying down the ice and puts that one home after doing his Bobby Orr impression, like you said, flying over the goaltender. What a sequence from line number 1 from the Colonials.
That right there tells you why you don't stop until you hear a whistle. Because I thought Osterman had that. He made an amazing diving glove save. And Kramer just came up from behind, picked it up, and buried it.
Nothing you could do there if you're Osterman. That puck, he was flying down the ice.
He did everything he could. Kramer with his second point of the night gets a goal and an assist so far. He's got a light and an apple. Pushing forward was the Colonials. It goes back. Draper has it. Knocked forward. Here comes Butson. Schindler had it for a second and tried to knock it forward to Butson, but Butson couldn't get it. 90 seconds to go here in the second period as the Colonials lead 3-2. Picked off by Butson. Butson over to Reed, and Reed can't maintain it. Opposite the Doubletree corner. Reed looking. Tries to get it down to Jenkins. Jenkins loses it. Hit up high was Butson. Butson was the one that hit up high. Jenkins pushing number 40 to get it. Number 40 can't get it. He's so upset he called for a penalty. Reed loses control of the puck. Ref almost took a stick to the face there from Butson. That was scary for him. D-to-D pass, 48 seconds to go in the second period. Knocked forward. We have a chance here. It's Molteri. He shoots. He scores! Santino Molteri makes it 4-2.
Beautiful play by Molteri, picking off that pass, coming down the left wing circle. Puts that one over blocker's side of the goaltender Osterman. Absolutely beautiful play there by Santino Molteri, the junior. RMU with a burst of energy here at the end of period number 2. Two quick goals.
I'll tell you what, start of the second period, it was all Alabama. For the first 10 minutes of this period, it was all Alabama. And in the past 5 to 6 minutes, the Colonials have come back, scored 3 goals, and now they're up 4-2 with 30 seconds to go in period 2.
It's a great commanding lead ahead here to the end of period number 2 for sure.
Santino Molteri does it all himself as the Tide are trying to get a goal back here as Albert's stick was being held by the Tide defenseman. Cotton has it, looking to get it out. Cotton pushes forward, fires it across, trying to hit Kramer with speed, but it's picked off by the Tide. Albert gets a stick on it off the Chick-fil-A wall. The Tide have it looking for a pass out front, losing the puck. Adamski on his knees trying to get it. Albert gets up very slowly. That's concerning. I'm not sure what's going on there as we've got a whistle. We've got an interference call on, is that Palumbo? Is it on Palumbo? Or is it on number 19? It's on number 19 for the Tide. So the Tide take their 4th penalty of the game, already down 4-2, and the Colonials scored once already on the power play.
Looks like RMU with the penalty for interference here. And
is it RMU? There's no one in the box. Ref's trying to figure it out.
I think they're going to call Albert here.
Albert's like, wait a second, me? Yeah, so Albert's going to go to the box for interference. I believe that's what it was.
Yes, he did put up the interference sign. I'm not sure I saw it, and there's only 3.3 seconds to play here in period number 2.
Unfortunately, we don't have a replay, so I wish I could see it. I missed it. I saw Albert upset, but face-off won by the Tide, and it's going to get loose, and they're going to take a late shot on the net, and they're going to miss. So to end that game, to end the period, a little bit of confusion. Albert goes to the box for interference. That puts the Tide on the power play to start the third period. The Colonials up 4-2. So, was it high sticking? Oh, it was high sticking. I saw him do that. Oh, it wasn't?
There's one now, is what we're being told. Alabama will get a penalty to start period number 3 for high sticking.
So is it 4-on-4 now?
It'll be 4-on-4 to start.
Was that high sticking at the very end? Okay, so it wasn't. Got it. Okay. So the referee's calling it out. There was a high stick at the very end of the period, so it's going to be 4-on-4 going into the third. What could have been a good turn of events for the Tide, starting the period on the power play, gets immediately squandered by taking yet another penalty on the day.
I believe that's the 4th penalty of the game.
Osterman getting it from the crowd. Very upset is the crowd. They're just screaming at him. That's what happens when you're at college. That's what happens.
Absolutely great period, though. Let's go down the stat line real quick. Gio Palumbo with a goal here in the first period for the Colonials. And then also in this period, Santino Molteri with his breakaway goal. And then Jeremy Jenkins and Roman Kramer. Adamski with 3 assists on the night.
3 apples. That's what you want from your captain, right?
That's what you want.
A 3-point night, all assists, playmaking. He's a good player. He's a good player.
Absolutely. That top line has been absolutely rolling. And then we look at Alabama goals from Brian Siebold, his first here in period number 2, and then Kalen Briere, number 96, getting a goal as well.
You know, I heard you call looking like Danny Briere,
Yeah.
and I felt that in my soul. That hurt, I'll be honest.
As a Flyers fan, I'm sorry.
It hurts. It hurts hearing Danny Briere's name. When I did see Briere on the roster for tonight, I was like, oh, I remember that name. Oh, well. Kind of retired his number, but okay.
One of my favorite players growing up was Danny Briere. I'm a Pittsburgh fan, but I still loved watching him every time I saw him.
He was a good player. He was a good player.
Absolutely.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a 15-minute intermission here. Game's going really quickly. It's 9:53. We're going into the third period. Not many whistles in the first. We had a couple more in the second, especially with like 5 or 6 minutes left, right before the Colonials really started to turn this game around. And going up 4-2, going into the third, 4-on-4 for 2 minutes. Looking forward to the rest of the game. And I think with that, we'll talk to you guys when the third period starts. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back here for the third period of action as the band wraps up playing the entrance music yet again. Adamski goes back, gives a stick tap to Kevin Mackey, the goaltender, who's been playing very well tonight. I thought both goalkeepers were doing relatively well just in general. I do say, Mackey's crease is very dirty right now. What is going on over there?
Yeah, it definitely looks like a lot of extra water in front of his crease, and that might lead to some accidents in front of the net there.
I guess for some friction against the puck.
Yeah, definitely will help in his favor, but definitely a little bit sloppy ice never helps out the players in front of him.
Let's watch as magically the other net's going to start coming off its moorings, but Mackey's won't. Kidding, of course. The crowd isn't, but I am. Jenkins pushes forward with the Colonials. Drops it back to Adamski. Adamski, 3 points on the night, having quite a game. 4-on-4 action, as at the very end of the period, there was a penalty to number 13, Timmy Kirkwood. It was a high sticking call after the whistle had blown. I was a little suspect. Not going to get into that call. I didn't like it. I don't think anyone up here liked it. But, you know, we take those. The Tide pushing forward. A lot of open ice out there right now, as there's still about 1:20 left in the 4-on-4 action. Jenkins comes forward. He has Kramer up front. Kicks it in off the skate. Kramer's going to wheel around as the puck gets dumped in opposite the Doubletree corner, and Jenkins is going to pick it up. Harbison gets the puck left for him. Gift wrapped by Jenkins. Adamski has it. Turns around, chips it forward, up off the wall. That's going to go down 4 and icing.
Yeah, 50 and 53 seconds respectively on the penalties for both sides here on this 4-on-4. Definitely a little bit slower of a start compared to the other two periods, but definitely I think both teams playing a little bit more conservatively and not trying to get more penalties added to that scoreboard.
Coach Joseph laughing with the ref because he tried to sneak Kramer off the ice, and Kramer came back on afterwards, and Coach Joseph laughing about it, saying, yeah, you got me. Shot, dangerous one on net, blocked by Mackey. Kramer has it. Drops it back behind the net to Jenkins as he's going to go off for his change that he meant to do earlier. And so is Adamski. On comes Keith Reed and Brian Schindler. Reed's going to pick it up. Firing it forward. Tipped through by the Tide player. Schindler's going to turn around. Osterman's going to baby that one aside for the Tide defenseman. Slower start to this period as opposed to the earlier two. As the Tide try to knock it forward. A good stick by Schindler to knock that down. The Tide pushing forward. Harbison and Schindler going back. The Tide can't get there in time. Harbison's going to grab it with his glove, and the Tide are going to take it back to the point. A lot of time. Over to the top of the circle. Another shot out front that gets tipped. Mackey wasn't there for it. It went wide. Harbison ties up the player as the 4-on-4 ends. We're back to even strength at the Clearview Ice Arena with 17:50 to go in the third. Out front. That puck is still loose. Mackey looking for it. Gets the glove on it. Through traffic. As number 11 for the Tide can't believe that he didn't get that on net.
Yeah, great opportunity there by Eric Reniger, number 11 for the Tide, diving to make that play to try to get that puck on net. Mackey with the easy save to take that one away. I believe
is this music choice, right? Should we be playing this right now?
I don't know. Sweet Home Alabama is the right choice there by the PA people.
Lance Cotton dumps it around to Albert, and Albert's going to push forward with it. The Tide have it behind Mackey. Out front, Alabama takes it on the Clearview Arena logo. D-to-D pass with a shot that gets loose in front. Mackey's going to take the save. Number 40 for the Tide was whacking at it while it was loose. But it's going to happen.
Definitely some suspect music like we're going back to at Sweet Home Alabama. I don't know if that's a shot or a compliment to their team.
I would assume it's a shot. Face-off won by the Tide. Draper behind the net, knocks it forward to Palumbo. Palumbo ties up number 88 for the Tide, throws it back in. It's going to go all the way down. Jenkins is going to take that, knock it forward past the Colonials bench. And here come the Tide, forward again. It's been all Tide so far in the first half of this third period, and it looks like we're going to get a penalty on the Colonials, I would assume. I think someone was tied up. The Colonials are unhappy with the call.
Looks like it's going to be Kramer here. I think it's a hook. Yep.
2 minutes for hooking for Roman Kramer.
Yeah, it looks like they got tied up in front there. The puck was coming through. I think he might have got his stick around the hands of the Tide player, and they're going to get you every time for that one.
The refs are laughing about it. I'm not entirely sure what's going on. Oh, well. The Tide on the power play for the first time this evening, apart from the 3 seconds at the end of the second. Looking to get a good cycle going in the zone. The Colonials pressing hard on their penalty kill. Puck is loose. Here comes Palumbo. He's going to get it out for the Colonials. Trying to kill some time, and he's going to go right back into his own zone. A classic NHL move. And fires it all the way down. On net! Osterman wasn't paying attention.
Great job by Palumbo's awareness to fire that one on net as they get a change. Almost snuck home.
Osterman looked at his bench, covered his heart, and said, "I'm so sorry." Oh, that was good. Jenkins over to Draper. Draper's going to fire it. He's going to hit number 11 for the Tide, who looks to be okay. That's going to go all the way out to the Tide bench, where it's picked up in the Tide zone by number 13 for the Tide. Wheeling with it. We're 60 seconds down in this power play, and the Tide haven't done anything.
Yeah, Kramer has the collegiate Gordie Howe hat trick. He just took a penalty. He has a goal and an assist on the night already.
The collegiate Gordie Howe hat trick, because they can't fight. I like it.
So
well, if he got a 5-minute major for something, I think that might be more akin. But anyway, here come the Tide into the zone. Alabama looking to set something up, and they're going to lose that puck, and Schindler's going to grab it. It's Schindler and Reed. Schindler with some speed, gets around one, drops it off to Reed. That's going to be a clear offsides. I'm not sure what Schindler was doing there. That was very clearly going to be an offside call.
Yeah, I think it was more of a selfless play by Schindler, just trying to kill more time. Maybe it was a drop pass for Reed to take back into his own zone. Definitely a miscommunication between the two if they were trying to go there for a 2-on-2 or to rag the puck a little longer, 34 seconds on the penalty.
Face-off won by the Tide. 30 seconds to go here in the power play. Alabama pushing past the RMU bench, fires it in behind Mackey. Number 88 for the Tide is going to take it on the wall and knocking it back in towards the corner. Number 27 has it out to 96. 96 holds, whiffs on it, back over to 86. 22 for the Tide, shot hits off the mask. Mackey has it, it's loose out in front. Takes a weird bounce, and the Colonials come out of the box. Kramer is out right now, and the Colonials have killed the power play. The penalty is over, and the Colonials are going to push forward. Harbison knocks it forward to Kramer. Kramer, and they have room. Schindler tries to knock it over, and it's going to get blocked by the skate of a Tide player. The Alabama players can't maintain the puck. Miscommunication. They keep knocking it off each other. Reed bodies them, loses it. And here comes Kramer pushing forward. Kramer gets around one, takes a knee-to-knee hit, and there's going to be a penalty on that one. You can't do that.
Yeah, definitely a bad play there as he took out the legs of Roman Kramer, who was about to split them and take a breakaway. I believe that'll be number 13 for the Crimson Tide. Timmy Kirkwood again.
They're going to call it tripping. I thought it was knee to knee. They're going to give it a tripping. That's fine.
It's pretty much the same. We're going to get specifics. I think it was more of a knee to knee.
Regardless, it was dangerous.
It was very dangerous play. Kramer did look like he almost did a somersault and landed on his head or back area. Thankfully, he is okay and is back out here for the power play with the top unit.
Jenkins and Kramer on the point. Jenkins on the wall and Kramer's on the far side. Schindler buries a man into the wall. Adamski has it for the Colonials. He's going to pick it off, walking forward, drops it over to Jenkins. Jenkins steps forward, going to the bottom of the circle. Out to Schindler. Schindler has it. Kramer. Kramer still holding it, keeps it in, fires it around. Adamski's going to get there for the Colonials. A good keep. Oh, Jenkins does miss it. Mackey's going to have to come out and play that. Mackey just dragged it backwards like Dominic Hasek. Roman Kramer's going to take it. Forward to Draper. Draper comes up with a man on his back. Adamski. Adamski with a shot high. Good blocker save by Osterman. Trying to knock it out. Stopped by Kramer. Kramer to Jenkins. Schindler. Back to Jenkins. Kramer off the skate. Down behind the net. That's Adamski. Back to Kramer. Kramer at the point. Cycling with Jenkins. Shot. Went through the feet and picked off by number 74, the Tide. 50 seconds to go here in the power play. Kramer's going to pick it up for the Colonials as PP2 comes on the ice. Kramer's going to go off himself, gives it to Harbison. Harbison moves forward. He's got Palumbo on the side, stays on side. That is Harbison chasing forward. Palumbo's going to pick it up from him. Fires it towards the net and a good glove save by Osterman.
Gio Palumbo has been all over the puck all night long. You talk about the top line guys, usually it's Adamski, Kramer, and Draper, but Gio Palumbo, one of the under-the-radar guys in my opinion. He's been around the puck all night long, and that shows on the score sheet with a goal and an assist already, and about 4 or 5 great opportunities thus far.
Harbison, over to Reed, back to Harbison. Down to Butson. Butson, Reed out in front. Shot goes wide. Off the boards and out it goes. The person on the aux went a little too long on the song there. We actually had play going on and you're supposed to stop that, but he had Sweet Caroline and that, you know, we're in the Pittsburgh area. That has to happen.
Definitely had to get the bump, bump, bump in there for the fans.
Butson back to Cotton. Harbison has it. The penalty is over on the tripping minor to the Alabama Crimson Tide. Pushing forward. Albert's going to take that. Knocks it forward. Thrown over to Byrne. Byrne has it, loses the puck, but it's actually going to be stolen. Number 18 for the Colonials, backhand on net. And he goes into the boards awkwardly, and he looks like he's going to be hurt. Cotton knocks it forward, but that is number 18, John Betts, who's limping over to the bench. That's another man down for the Colonials. Hopefully he figures it out, and he's going to be okay as he struggles to get over the bench, but he does. The Tide move into the Colonial zone. Backhand on net, saved by Mackey. And John Betts struggling on the bench. He took an awkward fall into the bench. I hope he's okay. That did not look good.
Definitely looked like his legs went the one way and his head almost looked like it fell into the boards. Definitely a very dangerous play. Is Adamski getting a penalty here?
Yeah, looks like Adamski's going to the box. I missed what happened. It's going to be 2 minutes for hooking as Alabama goes on their second power play of the period and the second power play of the game. Not counting that 3-second power play in the second period.
I don't think we're going to... That seemed like it balanced itself out pretty quickly there with the penalty at the end of the period by Kirkwood.
Captain Adamski in the box. Alabama trying to put another one on the board. Just over halfway to go here in the third period. The Tide on the power play. 88 with a shot, saved by Mackey, paddles it aside. Number 22 for the Tide. Holding. Looking for the pass over to 96. 96 down to 22 with a shot from 96. And that's going to be whiffed on, didn't get enough on it. Reed's going to push. Over to 22, a D-to-D pass. Point to point, number 22. Controlling the puck. Schindler pressing. Over to 96. 96 down to 88. 88 looking, shot, pad save. Looking for some POP. Reed's going to fire it out. Number 27 couldn't get his stick on it. That was a good chance for the Crimson Tide, but they couldn't finish it off. Alabama did not touch that puck, so there is no too many men on the ice call there, but that was a close one. Harbison turns the puck over right on the DoubleTree wall. That's a dangerous play, and they do get it out front, and a good save by Mackey. Behind the Colonials net, it squirts out front with a shot and a block by Cameron Smith, who was hurt, and he's struggling, but a good block. You got to give that up. Cameron Smith trying to get off the ice. The Tide pushing forward. Over number 7 going backdoor, and he couldn't get it. Here comes Kramer. Kramer knocks it around 1, knocks it around 2, and here he comes. It's Kramer and Palumbo. Kramer with the shot, and it gets saved by Osterman. Kramer pressing. Harbison back, and Kramer's going to steal that himself. He says, no, thank you. And he's going to fire that one all the way down. A great PK by Kramer there the past 15, 20 seconds. Great look for the Colonials. Kramer apparently can just do it all, as the Colonials have killed off that penalty, and we're back to even strength as Captain Adamski comes on to the ice. Schindler gets it over to Harbison. Harbison can't control it. D shot, saved by Mackey. Out to the point, number 19 with the shot. The blocker saved by Mackey. Out in front, Alabama player down, looking to get Reed on during the streak there, and he can't get to it. It goes down behind the net. Playing off the wall, Schindler's back there. Into the Amity Mobile Tire corner. Tried to be picked off by Butson, and he couldn't. Schindler tried to get it. Taken by the Tide. 9 minutes to go here in the third period. Butson grabs it, gets past 1. Loses his footing, goes down in front, gets it to Reed though, but Reed can't put it away. Number 27 for the Tide. Gets to the defense. Tipped by Reed. Butson's going to stay there, and he's going to try and push. An amazing forecheck so far by the Colonials here since the penalty ended. Doing a great job forechecking. Giving it to Alabama so they can't form their play, get their line changes, do whatever they need to do. They can't maintain possession of the puck, so the Colonials are going to keep pushing.
Looks like RMU's just playing keep away at this point, not trying to prevent any more chances for the Tide at this point.
A good save by Osterman, and he tries to snow the goaltender. Cameron Smith, glad to see him back on the ice after taking that block down into the defensive zone on the penalty kill.
Definitely a ton of block shots in that penalty kill. Smith with one of them. Absolutely incredible work on that PK. No, going back to Roman Kramer, taking it by himself with a fake pass to Gio Palumbo to try to kick the goaltender. Didn't work, but overall great play by Kramer. Like you said, can literally do it all on the ice.
And I see John Betts over there standing up ready for his next shift, so he looks to be okay. Molteri with a shot, paddled wide. Albert with a shot from the point, almost tipped in, and the net is off. It's Moorings.
Coincidentally, right in front, there are two Colonials. Puck was loose, and then there goes the net once again.
You know, I mentioned it at the start of the period as a joke. I didn't expect it to happen.
Yeah, Albert's had the shot on net, redirected in front. I believe that was, I think that was Lapiana, and I don't know who was there for the rebound.
I think it was Molteri.
Molteri once again. He's always around the puck as well. Him and Gio Palumbo, two under-the-radar contributors for this Colonials offense.
Face-off won by the Colonials. Over to Cotton. Cotton with a shot. Gets deflected and goes wide. Molteri has it. Tries to get it down behind the net to Cameron Smith. And here come the Tide. Tide leaving the zone. It's going to be picked off by Molteri. Molteri loses his footing, but Albert's going to grab it for him. Trying to get it through, and he can't. It's a turnover. It's dangerous. Plenty of Colonials in there. Hit from behind. Loose out in front. Molteri's going to get there in time. They can't clear it out of the zone. Number 88 for the Colonials. Or, I'm sorry, number 88 for the Tide. Gets a shot on net. Gets blocked and wide. Lapiana flips it out towards Molteri. Down into the Tide zone. Number 96 for the Tide. Goes behind his own net, whiffs again. He's done that a couple of times, gets checked from behind. Lapiana out in front, and it's going to get tipped all the way out to Draper. Draper's going to try and knock that in. Delayed offside, so the Tide are going to come out of their own zone. Number 13 for the Tide. Loses the puck. Number 7 going into the corner with Jenkins. It's going to be tipped forward. Jenkins has it now. Fires it all the way out to Byrne. Byrne can't get it. It actually takes a bounce and goes towards the net. Covered by the goalkeeper, and we're going to have a whistle.
Yeah, RMU should be thanking number 13, once again, Timmy Kirkwood, who does have 2 penalties for the Crimson Tide thus far, for preventing that icing. Now RMU has an offensive zone draw. Kirkwood put that right into his goaltender, and RMU now has a chance to come up 5-2 and have complete control of this game with 7:09 to play.
You know, they have the A on their the A crest on their jerseys for Alabama, but it might be assistant captain for the Colonials after that play. Mackey tries to go out and get it behind the net. Doesn't get anything on it. Taken by Jenkins, who fires it back to Kramer. Kramer's going to dump it all the way down. That's going to go towards the net. Adamski was pressing. Waves off the icing. Kramer's going to push forward. He's going to steal that. Kramer's looking for a pass out front. He's got Jenkins far side. Fires one towards the net. Jenkins is going to go down and pick it up. Palumbo's going to rotate. Jenkins evades one. Tries to get it around a second one, and he can't. So it's going to be picked up by the Tide, and the Tide are going to move forward with it. Side to side, Adamski tried to stop that, but it's okay because the Tide player missed it, so Draper's going to pick that up. Over to Kramer. Kramer has it, dumping it in on net. Gets knocked wide. Some extracurricular going on in front of the Tide net. Completely drew my eye away from it, but Harbison's going to go back and pick up that puck. It's Harbison and Haas. 6 minutes to go here in the third period.
Looked like it was Gio Palumbo and a Tide player mixed up in front of the Colonial bench there about 20 seconds ago.
Reed and Schindler back on the ice yet again with Butson. Haas gets it forward to Reed and can't get on it. Now we're going to have an icing, but actually it's going to pop out in front. Are they going to call freeze? Coach Joseph is absolutely livid on the bench.
Yeah, he's
They're
very
gonna call
upset.
freeze.
That won't be an icing, luckily. I thought that was what they were going to call at first, but there's something that was meant that Coach Joseph and his staff are furious about.
I've never seen him so animated. He was upset with whatever call was happening.
Maybe something going back to the Palumbo play that got him involved to take action to one of the, I think it was actually number 27, Quinn Fahey of the Crimson Tide that was involved with Palumbo.
Face-off win by the Colonials, but the Tide are going to take it after a missed pass back to Harbison. Here come the Tide, pushing forward with a shot and a good glove save by Mackey. Number 12 for the Tide. A battle on the wall. Goes opposite the DoubleTree corner. Keith Reed buries a Crimson Tide player into the boards. Haas is going to dig it loose, and Harbison's going to pick it up. Harbison tries to get it forward, and he does. Reed has it. Reed knocking it forward, trying to get it to Schindler, but accidentally gets it to the Tide player. The Tide wheeling in their own zone. Off the Chick-fil-A wall to number 11. The Tide trying to knock it forward, and it actually took a weird bounce. Goes to the DoubleTree corner as Albert's going to pick it up, trying to get it over to Schindler. He does. Schindler has it. He's going to move forward. He's got Butson and Smith. Schindler tries to get past Schindler tries to get past the defenseman for the Tide. And a big hit on the wall on Butson. A good play at neutral in the neutral zone on for Albert there to stop that puck from going into the Colonial zone. The Tide turn it over, but then pick it right back up again. Dangerous chance out front. Empty net almost as he buries it to make it 4-3 with 4:35 to go. It's 4-3 Colonials.
It was Gianni Dini, the guy that we mentioned that we were impressed with in the warm-ups with absolutely beautiful hands. Buries that one home with a great shot. Nice job there by Alabama to just get that puck on net. Gianni picks it up, throws it in, and there's nothing RMU could do on that play.
Yeah, when we were watching warm-ups, we did note Dini looked to be very good in his warm-up routine. He looked to be burying everything he tried to do. He was working on his stick handling. I thought he was going to be a really big factor, but so far he hasn't. That's just his first time on the board tonight. So the Colonials are going to try and keep it that way as they've got 4:30 left in this third period, up 4-3. The Colonials pick it off. Palumbo trying to knock it forward. Kramer actually gets it past the defenseman, but then turns it over. The Tide try to knock it forward, knock it off their own player. Kramer gets it on the line. Kramer walks forward, over to Palumbo. Palumbo out in front, paddled wide by the goalkeeper for the Tide. Jenkins at the point, fires it in. Palumbo going behind the net, but the Tide are actually going to take it. A reverse hit attempt by number 96 goes quite poorly for him. Draper has it, tipped by Palumbo. Okay, number 96 didn't even try. He didn't even try for the puck, and there's no whistle by the ref. Draper's going to take that. Palumbo is quite upset, tips it forwards. I'm with the crowd on this one. That looked like a blatant headshot call. Nothing was called. Number 96 wasn't trying to get the puck at all. Went right for the head, buried him into the boards, and hopefully Palumbo's okay.
Palumbo's head was turned. It wasn't even facing the defender. He got pushed into the boards plastered like his hands were going up against it. Absolutely dangerous play.
Can't happen. Can't happen. The Tide grab possession of this puck. Firing it into the DoubleTree corner. Going all the way back for it. We're going to have an icing. Haas is going to touch up. Yeah, that can't happen. You had a player who wasn't even looking at the puck, looking completely away from the play, and number 96 for the Tide just came in and buried him into the boards head first.
He was absolutely in a vulnerable position, Palumbo was. And if you're Kalen Briere, you got to hold back on that here, or at least finish your check in a clean manner. And that point, his arm was almost at the nameplate of Palumbo, and you can't have that happen.
Face-off won by the Colonials. Up and behind the net. The Tide are going to take it. Tipped forward. Turned over. And looks like the Colonials are going to grab possession of this. Harbison has it. Over to his D partner, Haas. Haas back to Harbison. Harbison fires it forward, trying to get tipped through by Lapiana. It's going to go all the way down. Lapiana got a piece on it. And the Tide are going to push forward. Regrouping with 2:30 to go here in the third period. Colonials up 4-3 as we keep an eye on the goaltender Osterman. Jenkins has it. Fires it over to Schindler. Schindler forward to Butson. Butson has it. Looking, out in front. Reed has it. Thought he was going to get something on that, and he doesn't. The defense was changing, so there was no point shot available. Into the corner. The Tide are going to take it behind their own net. Behind Briere, number 88. And now Briere's going to take it. Keith Reed's going to intercept it, looking for something. Back to Schindler. Schindler back to Jenkins. Jenkins with a shot tipped by Reed on net, and a good save by Osterman. It leaves the zone as Schindler's going to take it for the Colonials. He's holding it. Gets it over to Jenkins. Jenkins is going to move forward. Dumps it into the far corner to the Amity Mobile Tire corner. Pushing forward is Captain Adamski as the first line comes onto the ice. Number 88 for the Tide, throwing it towards the net, goes wide. Number 28, number 22, the goal scorer for the Crimson Tide, is now back on the ice with 1:24 to go. Osterman is well out of his crease up at the hash as they're going to look forward to trying to get him out of the net, and the Colonials are going to try and keep them off the board. 1:13 to go in the third period. Alabama's making their change. Osterman skating slowly towards the net. They enter the zone. Shot on net, glove down by Mackey, and now Alabama's going to pull their goaltender, put the extra attacker on the ice with 63 seconds remaining in the third. I'm now going to get out of my chair because this is where it gets intense.
Oh boy, 63 seconds, an offensive zone draw for Alabama. They might be calling a timeout here, and it looks like they are.
Timeout for Alabama.
A stressful 63 seconds ahead of us here for both Colonial and Crimson Tide fans.
You know, just to touch on, what we've seen in the past minute and a half, it's definitely getting a bit more aggressive as the Tide are getting more desperate. There's a minute 3 seconds left. The Tide are going to call their penalty, or call their timeout. I keep saying penalty. They're going to call their timeout, draw up their play, and try to get something going, but they haven't been great in the faceoff dot tonight. I think they got to start there.
Oh,
the Colonials have been killing them in the faceoffs.
One guy that I noticed on their power play that we mentioned is Gianni Dini. He kind of plays in that Ovechkin role where he's going to play the left top side of the circle. He has a lethal shot, as we saw in warm-ups, and as we saw on the goal with the empty net. His aggressive speed, definitely someone I think if you're the Colonials, you've got to keep an eye out for. Because if you leave him open, I think if he has the chance, he's going to bury it, and I believe he is going to be coming out here for the 6-on-5 opportunity. It looks like
the
RMU.
Tide look to even this game at 4. The Colonials look to keep their lead up by 1.
RMU's putting out their first line, their best line this game so far. Looks like it's going to be Adamski on the draw here against Dini.
Face-off tied up and won by the Tide. Behind the net, Draper's going to grab it. fires it on net. That gets deflected wide. Palumbo into the corner. Tide pressing hard, trying to get control of this puck. Out to the point, number 96, over to 19. 19 with a shot from the point, and it's saved by Mackey. 44 seconds to go in the third period. Alabama pressing hard as we expected.
Yeah, RMU's keeping them to the outside, and that's a good thing. You do not want anything up the middle or at the net. RMU's kind of playing around the circle here. Smart play there on the defensive
Face-off
draw.
one, and it clears the zone all the way down to the Crimson Tide zone. 36 seconds on the clock. Here come the Tide. Pushing forward. No keeper in net for them. Palumbo's going to take it, trying to get it out, and he can't. Palumbo's going to try again. Draper actually has it on the wall. Adamski tries to push forward to get a stick on it, and it goes up behind Mackey. A battle on the wall. 15 seconds to go. Keeping it in the corner nicely. The Colonials doing some good job killing it. Fires it. Kramer can't clear it out. It goes to the center with the shot. Goes wide. Out in front. Dangerous play. And it goes just wide. And now it's going to be cleared out by Palumbo. And that's going to end the game. The Colonials best the Crimson Tide 4-3 on a Friday night game where they play tomorrow against the same team.
What a stressful game. What an incredible game. RMU takes the early lead. Alabama comes right back. And then RMU comes right back, and Alabama with a strong third period where they got a goal. Made it a lot closer. This was one of the most intense and exciting games I've been a part of.
You know, a 4-3 game. I called it, didn't I?
You did,
I said
you did.
4-3 at the beginning of this. I said the Colonials were going to take it 4-3. I thought the Tide played great tonight. Honestly, I thought they played great. I thought the Colonials played just as well. And I think it's going to be an even better game tomorrow after today. Mackey, an amazing game tonight. Standing on his head a lot of the times, making some really good plays and really keeping the game even. And I'm curious to see if Coach Joseph doesn't go with Mackey again tomorrow. He might go Pellegrino, but Mackey looked really well.
He really did. There wasn't a lot of shots either against Mackey, and that's one thing you want to keep your goaltender kind of limited to is how many shots and how many saves he has to make during a game. And I think he was only around the 20-25 mark, which isn't a lot through 3 periods of play. So you definitely want to save him. But also, Alabama is a really good hockey team, and you might have to use him again. That just might be how the cookie crumbles in this case.
As we haven't seen this in a while, but as what normally happens on this ice when the band is here, they haven't been to a game since 2019. The hockey players get around and are essentially serenaded to by the band as they play the alma mater for Robert Morris University. A great tradition that we haven't seen in quite some time here at the Clearview Ice Arena. Back when it was actually the 84 Lumber Arena was the last time that we've seen the band here. And as you can see, the players enjoy it. It's definitely something that they haven't been able to do in a while. And it's something that to be honest, I miss as well.
Yeah, definitely
it's nice
something.
to have the band here.
If you're a freshman on this team, guys like Schindler and John Betts, this is your first time being on the ice for this, and you can see definitely the joy on these guys' face after a great hard-fought win. It just gets serenaded by the band.
Winning in front of their family and family night. The Colonials best the Crimson Tide 4-3 as Coach Joseph applauds his team. I was talking to him before the game, and he said, the Tide are good. The Tide are a real good hockey team. They're ranked in the ACHA. The Colonials are not, so we knew it was going to be a close game, and the Colonials were able to win this one 4-3. It was tense at some times. It was exciting in others. It looked almost lost in the second period as the Colonials were just getting absolutely rolled by the Tide. But they came back, fought back, and they're going to take this game 4-3.
It's going to be one heck of a game tomorrow, I'm going to tell you that much. You saw how physical the end of this game got. I don't think there's much bad blood between these guys as we see 2 Crimson Tide players still on the ice watching them go off. Kind of soaking it in, saying, all right, we're going to get you tomorrow. And one of them was Briere, who did have that hit against Palumbo.
Well, that's going to wrap it up tonight here down at the RMU Island Sports Center at the Clearview Ice Arena. Glad you could join us here tonight as we gave you some ACHA D1 club hockey tonight. Tomorrow on this Twitch channel at 12 noon, I believe, there's a pickleball tournament that will be streamed live here as well. So make sure you tune in for that. Again, 12 p.m. right back here. I think the next hockey game we're doing is, let me check the schedule. I believe it's December 4th when we play Pitt here at the Clearview Arena. We play Kent State the night before, but I'm more interested in seeing Pitt. Just, local rivals, that's definitely something we're going to have to look at. And that'll probably be the next time we're at the rink, so a whole nother 30 days before we see the D1 club team again. But they're going to be away at Roosevelt as well as Kent State before coming back home against JCU before having a nice week break and recuperating before that back-to-back with Kent State and Pitt. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up for tonight. We will talk to you tomorrow. Well, not me. I think you'll talk to them tomorrow, Caden.
Yes.
All right. Have a good night, everyone. Stay safe, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.